This video is sponsored by Carnivore Companion. Check out our newly released seasoning steak dust along with our flagship seasoning smokestack and our bestseller Tuck Collagen. Use the code CCYouTube10 at CarnivoreCompanion.com to save 10% off your first order. Hey there, my meaty friends. This is Reed, aka CarnivorousChef. I saw a famous YouTuber making a cheesy Gordita crunch recently and it made me absolutely crave it. So I had to make it. When I was eating Taco Bell, no matter what I got, I always got at least one cheesy Gordita crunch. Since it's been about 2 years since I've had Taco Bell, I'm actually pretty excited. I am definitely not recreating the carnivore wheel here. So let's start with something I made before, which is flatbread. For that, grab a bowl and add in about 1 ounce of ground pork rinds. Crack in 2 eggs. And spoon in a half teaspoon of baking powder. Spoon this up, or whisk it up, or mush it with your hands. It'll be a little thin at first, but set it aside and let it absorb that egg goo. Next up, let's make a fake Baja Sauce. In a bowl, add in about 1 cup of sour cream, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of dried chives, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of chipotle powder, and about 1/3 cup of crystal hot sauce. Give this a tender mix with a whisk. Just try to keep it from flopping out of the bowl. While whisking this, I realized it was pretty damn thick still, so I gave it a taste. Oh, right. I should probably add a little salt. A half teaspoon should be plenty. It also needed just a touch more of tang as well, so I added a little more liquid. The 1/3 cup of hot sauce from earlier is the same amount you should follow because that's about how much I added in total. Set this in the fridge to let the flavors mate and mingle. Since I already have the camera set up overhead, let's get this flatbread made. I use a non-stick silicone baking mat on a baking sheet to make this. Plop down your flatbread mixture and spread it out. This cheap mat happened to have a measurement for circular foods, so I decided on spreading this out to 7 inches. You should do the same. Your preciseness is 100% necessary, so don't screw this up. Place this into an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 Celsius for 5 to 8 minutes, or until this bad boy is cooked through and still pliable. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing if you don't want to for the meat, but if you do, break about a half pound of ground beef into a pan that's set over medium-high heat. Pour in a 1/4 cup of water and begin to break it up with a spatula. The water will help to keep the beef from drying out while trying to get a finer crumble. Once the beef is cooked through, drain and add 1 tablespoon of Tuck Collagen by Carnivore Companion. Use the code CCYouTube10 at CarnivoroCompanion.com to save 10% on your order. If you don't want to use Tuck Collagen, then check out the recipe in the description for a taco seasoning mix. Stir in your seasoning, give it a taste, and set aside. The beef is done and so is the flatbread. There you go. Cooked through and pliable. Now for the crunch and cheese part, we'll be using cheese. Either grab 2 slices of mozzarella or 1 ounce of shredded mozzarella. Place it to the center of a pan set over medium heat and try to get circular. For the inside melty cheese, grab about a 1/3 cup of cheddar cheese and place it on top. Grab a spatula and work on rounding it out. It naturally wants to kind of drift like a drug addict's left eye. Once the bottom of your cheese is crispy, place your flatbread on top to let it adhere. Give it a flip and then remove from the pan. If you have a taco holder, use this to shape it into a taco. If you don't, just do your best to hold it at a 45-degree angle to shape it into a taco. Now look at that inside cheese. Perfect. Alright, let's add some of this taco meat, as much as you want. And follow it up with your sauce. I've got to say, you should add a lot of sauce. It's f***ing delicious. Now palm this and show it off because it's like 2 cheesy Gordita crunches sized. This is a touch hot still, so I'm going to go ahead and take the first bite for my Patreon community. The first thing that stands out is the crunch from the cheese, followed by the softness of the flatbread, and finally, the mouth gets an explosion of flavor from the sauce. If you're missing Taco Bell, please make this. It just worked so well and it satisfied the craving I had. Your mouth can get an explosion of flavor too if you like the video and subscribe to the channel.